New Mexico holds stories that chill you to the bone. Among them, one stands out for its sheer depravity. This is the story of David Parker Ray, the man known as the Toy Box Killer. He wasn't just a killer, he was a serial rapist who operated a custom-built sex torture chamber. His methods were meticulous, horrifying, and designed to strip victims of their will. A key element of his terror was an audio cassette tape, pre-recorded with chilling instructions for those he captured. But this is also a story of survival. It's the story of Cynthia Jaramillo, the woman who endured the unimaginable and found a way out. Her escape didn't just save her life, it brought down a monster. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Life had dealt Cynthia a difficult hand from the start. She experienced abuse and molestation during her childhood. These early traumas left deep scars. By her teenage years, she found herself alone on the streets of Albuquerque. It was a harsh environment where survival was a daily struggle. She learned quickly that she had to rely only on herself. From a young age, she developed a fierce instinct for survival. The streets taught her resilience, but also forced her into desperate measures. She did what she had to do to get by. Initially, she sold drugs to make ends meet. When that wasn't enough, she made the agonizing choice to sell her body. It was a dangerous path, but it was her reality. Working the streets, she developed personal rules for safety. These weren't foolproof, but they were her attempt to maintain some control in a chaotic world. She tried to minimize risks wherever possible. It was March 1999, and Cynthia was working the streets in Albuquerque. She was just trying to survive another night. The city lights offered little comfort or safety. On this night, she broke one of her own rules. She agreed to enter an RV, something she usually avoided. It felt wrong, but she needed the money. The man inside, David Parker Ray, pulled out a badge. He claimed to be a police officer and used handcuffs. It was a common tactic used by predators. But something felt off immediately. His demeanor wasn't right. She knew instinctively that he wasn't a real cop. The danger became terrifyingly real. Then he called her by her real name. This sent a jolt of pure fear through her. How did he know who she was? It meant this wasn't a random encounter for him. Suddenly, another person appeared. Cindy Hendy emerged from behind a curtain in the RV. Cynthia was no longer facing just one threat. Without warning, Hendy attacked. She shocked Cynthia with a cattle prod. The pain was immediate and incapacitating. They dragged her to the back of the RV. She was quickly handcuffed to a cabinet. Her brief moment of freedom was over. Trapped in the moving RV, Cynthia saw a chance. She began unscrewing the cabinet she was handcuffed to. Her mind raced, planning to jump out once she was free. She worked frantically, the screws slowly loosening. Just as she felt she might succeed, Ray slammed on the brakes. The sudden stop sent her tumbling forward. The jolt drew attention. Hendy noticed that Cynthia was no longer securely attached. She saw that her captive was loose. Hendy came towards her, holding a gun. Ray returned to the back of the RV. Cynthia was cornered, her escape attempt discovered. In the ensuing confrontation, everything went black. She lost consciousness. The last thing she remembered was the struggle. She woke up to a sound she would never forget. It was the chilling voice of David Parker Ray, coming from a recorded cassette tape. The tape was playing instructions. This was Ray's horrifying ritual. He had pre-recorded his demands and descriptions for his victims. It was a clinical, detached way of initiating their terror. The tape described their fate in graphic detail. It stated they were chained, gagged, and would be used as sex slaves. It laid out the rules of their imprisonment. The recording also contained a chilling threat. It stated that victims who knew too much would simply disappear. It was a promise of death if they didn't comply. She wasn't in the RV anymore. She was in the toy box chamber. It was a hidden room behind Ray's home near Elephant Butte. The chamber was a nightmare made real. It contained chains, whips, pulleys, and even a gynecological chair. It was designed solely for torture. She was subjected to physical torture. Ray used electric shocks, often while she was restrained on the gynecological chair. The pain was excruciating. Ray seemed to derive pleasure from her suffering. Her pain fueled his twisted desires. He reveled in her helplessness. Even when not being actively tortured, she was constantly confined. She was chained to a pole by a bed. A dog collar and padlock secured her. Despite the horror, Cynthia's survival instincts remained sharp. She began studying her surroundings constantly. She observed the layout of the chamber and her captor's actions. She listened intently to Ray and Hendy's conversations. She pieced together information about their routines and their dynamic. Every word was a potential clue. She noticed rules posted on the wall. One rule stood out, a warning to her captors: don't trust a chained captive. It revealed their potential vulnerabilities. The realization hit her with absolute clarity. There was no rescue coming. Escape was the only way she would survive this. An opportunity finally arose. Hendy left Cynthia alone in the chamber. Crucially, she left a set of keys within sight. Cynthia knew this was her chance. She seized the moment instantly. She couldn't reach the keys with her hands. Using her feet, she managed to pull the coffee table closer. The keys were on the table. Her heart pounded with a desperate hope. She worked quickly, her fingers fumbling with the padlock. She had to unlock the restraint before Hendy returned. Time was running out. Just as she was about to free herself, Hendy returned. She found Cynthia in the act of unlocking the padlock. The moment of discovery was terrifying. Hendy attacked Cynthia violently. She grabbed a lamp and struck her. The fight for her life was on. Cynthia fought back with everything she had. She grabbed a phone and an ice pick that were within reach. She used them to defend herself. In a final, desperate act, she stabbed Hendy. It was the only way to create an opening. She then bolted out the door, not looking back. She was outside, naked, bloodied, and disoriented. The desert night air was cold against her skin. She had escaped the chamber, but she was not yet safe. She saw a car passing on a nearby road. This was her first attempt to get help. She ran towards it, waving frantically. The driver saw her condition. Instead of stopping, they rolled up their window. Then they sped away, leaving her alone again. Desperate, she ran towards a nearby home. She didn't knock. She burst through the door. She needed help immediately. An elderly couple was inside. They were initially frozen by her appearance. Seeing a naked, bloody woman suddenly appear in their home was shocking. But the elderly woman remained calm. Her composure was a lifeline. She quickly called 911, getting the authorities involved. The husband provided a robe to cover her. He offered words of assurance and safety. They made her feel protected for the first time in days. Cynthia considers this couple her guardian angels. They were the ones who didn't turn away. They saved her life in those crucial moments after her escape. Cynthia's escape led directly to action. Authorities were able to apprehend Ray and Hendy. The reign of terror was over. Ray was brought to justice. He was sentenced to over 223 years in prison. The conviction was for torturing 2 women, including Cynthia. Ray made chilling claims after his capture. He boasted of abducting 40 women. However, no bodies were ever found, leaving many cases unresolved. David Parker Ray died in prison in 2002. He suffered a heart attack. His death closed a chapter, but the trauma he inflicted remained. Cindy Hendy also faced consequences. She was convicted for her role in the crimes. She served nearly 20 years in prison before being released in 2019. Remarkably, Cynthia has found a path to forgiveness for Hendy. She sees Hendy partly as a victim of Ray's manipulation and control. It is a testament to Cynthia's strength. Cynthia found the strength to move forward. She refused to let the trauma define her entirely. Her journey became one of healing and purpose. She founded a nonprofit organization called Street Safe New Mexico. It is dedicated to helping women still living on the streets. She understands their struggles intimately. Her organization provides essential resources. They offer food, clothing, and shelter referrals. They are a beacon of hope for vulnerable women. Cynthia also supports other victims. She testifies in court for rape victims. She uses her voice to advocate for justice and healing. She has redefined herself. She refuses to be known simply as David Parker Ray's victim. She is a survivor, an advocate, and a force for good. Her journey from victim to survivor and advocate is profoundly inspiring. It is a testament to the incredible resilience of the human spirit. Cynthia Jaramillo's story offers hope to others facing unimaginable darkness.